Welcome to another episode of the Love and Reality Podcast. I am your host, Ricky Valero. On today's episode, I have a fun one for you guys. I'm going to start my journey in Squid Game, The Challenge. We have a 10-episode series where 456 people are competing for $4.56 million. Before we jump in, if you're watching here on YouTube, please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, leave a little comment if you don't mind. If you're listening in your ears, whether you're on Spotify, iTunes, on mobile, whatever that looks like for you guys, hit the subscribe button, make sure that each episode drops into your ears every time a new one drops. I'm very excited to dive into this series. This was definitely one of the more interesting series to watch because if you found yourself trying to root for people, and just when you did, they would be eliminated. 456 people, right? So let's talk about the Squid Game, The Challenge. 456 real players will enter a competition show in pursuit of a life-changing reward of $4.56 million as they compete through a series of games inspired by the original show, plus surprising new additions. Their strategies, alliances, and character will be put to test while the competitors are eliminated around them. The series launched for the first 5 episodes, batch 1 on November 22nd. The second batch of 4 episodes will drop on November 29th. And then the third batch will be the final episode where we will crown the winner of Squid Game, The Challenge. So how I'm going to break this down, if you're watching here on YouTube, I'm going to do an episode by episode recap. If you're listening to me in your ears, whether that's on iTunes, Spotify, or anywhere you listen to your podcast, this will be episodes 1, 2, and 3 recap. Let's dive right into what we got going on. We get a montage of layout of what's ahead for these contestants. There are prison-like beds set for a section. And I'm talking like, do you remember the bunk beds when you were kids? 1, 2, 3, 4. Like it's that stacked across the board for, obviously 456 individuals. We see a mass amount of people entering the game. The loudspeaker announces the first game is red light, green light. We have our first contestant, Brighton. I'm going to start, by the way, throughout this entire show, I'm going to hopefully name them, probably by their number if I know their number. If not, we'll go by their names. But he is the best number, 432, because he is the one. Further talked about how Jesus fights, so he has to fight as well. Trey and his mother are playing together. That's hilarious. He jokes about the possibility of her outlasting him. Jada said her name means the gift of knowing. She says she can read people easily. Stefan and Chase are best friends and they're together and they do everything together. It announces that they move when the doll sings and they must stop whenever it stops singing. If they don't stop, they will be eliminated. They have 5 minutes from the beginning to the end of the finish line. Think about this for 5 seconds, right? We're watching this show and you're watching it and you've done all of the process. You filled out all this paperwork and you're getting ready to go on the show and like you're eliminated during the first competition. Like you didn't even make it 5 minutes into the Netflix show to get your 30 seconds of fame. You're already out the door, right? So each person has this capsule in them. So if they moved, boom, it kind of blows up and they're eliminated from the game. It's insane for some of these people to go this far only to be eliminated. Steven's best friend was already eliminated. One by one, we see some folks slowly dwindle down in the first competition. One lady gets eliminated and says, "Oh shit, really?" Again, we see a big chunk of people make it across the finish line. Very few within the one step of making it across get eliminated. Again, so not only do we have the individuals that are eliminated the first 30 minutes, first 5 minutes of the show, but now we have a chunk of people that get this close to the finish line and just move just a hair and get thrown out the door. Trey has made it through while his mother is lingering around. He hopes that she makes it. We get a slow montage of everyone trying to make it, including her. We see the mom make it to the finish line. We have a father-son duo. Mother-son duo making it through. The mullet dudes see each other after that. They start teaming up. I'm rooting for these guys, Kyle and Steven. Dash is a personality for sure. Mafi's trying to make some friends with people. It's legit like a massive prisoner, and we're watching prisoners kind of go all together. Rick, who's like 105 years old, thinks he can use his age to his advantage. An alarm goes off. This is where this is really cool for me, right? Alarm goes off, a big door opens. We see folks dressed up in the Squid Game's gear entering the place. They announce the results of the first game. We went from 456 people to 197. 259 people were eliminated on day one. Every player eliminated will add $10,000 to the pot. They will eat, sleep, and clean up their area. They will partake in tests whenever they're in the game. During the test, they can give other people advantages to help them in the game. These tests can also help eliminate players. Mom of the group said she would love to see the bros eliminated. Mama Leanne is my favorite. Brighton said he isn't arrogant and proceeds to say everything that makes him sound arrogant. It's chores time. This Brighton guy is just 432 is everything that you can imagine about that jockey, preppy douchebag that everybody will love to hate on this show. When his time comes, if he's eliminated or whatever, I'm sure there's going to be a roaring cheer across the world. It's chores time. We see them start to have to clean and cut up food for dinner. Players 101 and 134 have been selected for a test. The voice tells them they have to give one player an advantage in the next game, or they get to eliminate somebody. Their decision is anonymous and would be announced tomorrow. They start talking about who they're going to get rid of. Maybe they're thinking about getting rid of the mother and son combo. They're also bring up 432, Mr. Brighton. It's time for the first meal and collect the 4 lines and get one meal. Lorenzo is hoping for Italian food, but it's like a rice and egg mixture of some sort, and it's a very small ration. However, one thing that we notice with Lorenzo here is he goes through the line not once, but twice. He runs, puts a portion underneath his pillow, runs back in line, and Jade is watching as this happens and kind of busted him. It's bedtime. They get a wake-up call, no windows or clock. It's the old man's birthday. He's 69. Very nice. Years old. Here comes the Squid Game, folks. I'm sure they're announcing of the elimination. They announced the first test took place in yesterday. They were given a choice of giving one player an advantage in the next game or eliminate somebody. Like for me, if I'm observing the game here, if I was observing the game, I 1000% would have peeked around to see 101 and 134 peeling carrots. Now, the only thing that I will say here is I'm not 100% certain while they're like peeling carrots, if other people weren't pulled away to do other chores and stuff like that. So I don't know that part. 134 acting like she wasn't the one that picked someone. I loved how she portrayed that. Number 200 has been kicked out of the game. 141 was out here screaming and shit. Like, what the fuck? Like, everyone's a sad panda. Like, we're literally competing for $4.56 million. There's 197 people that you, or 196 if you're solo, 196 people that you have to go through to win this competition. There's no need to get emotionally invested, especially on day 2. Blows me away every single time. Mafia is sad and said he has no idea why they voted him out. He said he wanted to be better for his family, but that's the way the cookie crumblers. Look, bye. Move on with your life. 134 said she feels awful, but it adds 10K to the bank. Exactly. It's a fucking game, people. People that get mad about stuff like this and playing the games is wild to me. I'll never understand that. A game, we're winning money, $4.56 million. That's life-changing money. That's like more money than most people make in their entire lifetimes. Hello. 132 is talking to 134 saying she knew that 101 was part of it. It's only hashtag fact, only if 132 knew that she was talking to the other person that was part of it as well. The next room is nothing but white walls, and they tell them to form 4 lines. Someone said that this is the team making room, which could be true. The player in the front of the line each should follow the staff and the game line. 166, 328, 98, and 170 are our leaders. They enter the room, and it's the playground. The second game is called the playground area. They must choose a needle and choose a shape, and if they break or crack the shape, they will be eliminated. 4 players must pick which shape they will choose before they pick. Nobody wants the umbrella. They have 2 minutes to select their shape. My dude 98 getting bullied into taking the umbrella, but he ain't having. So in this 2-minute time frame, they have to pick a shape. Each individual captain has to grab a shape. If you don't, then the buzzer went off. What happens when the buzzer went off? They failed to come to an unanimous decision, and 166, 328, 98, and 170 were thrown out of the game. Holy cow, wasn't expecting that. The next 4 people, at the front of the line have to enter, and everyone is telling the leader not to pick the umbrella. That's very safe for you to say, considering you aren't going to possibly go home. Maybe you will once you get into the competition. Who knows? 321, 288, 454, 378. They all race to the wall. Everyone is ready to die, and they are pulling a 454 into, they're trying to pull 454 into taking the umbrella, but he is not having it. This is where episode 1 comes to an end. What a first episode, folks, of Squid Games. It only ramps up from here. If you're listening right here on YouTube, thank you guys so much. Please like, subscribe, comment. Tell me what you think of this premise, the idea, all the above. Let's talk all the above. Let's talk about it. And we'll talk to you guys on episode 2.